Today on The Social. Bank accounts with your BFFs? A content creator reveals his wife shares a joint bank account with her friends, and he's not allowed to ask about it. Is this something you would want too? And are the aging men in your life acting differently? Why a condition known as irritable male syndrome might be the cause. Then, from Korea with Love, Chef Sang Kim shows us why ingredients make the best souvenirs and how to use them in your next dinner party. Plus, 1 in 6 people struggle with infertility, and misinformation is everywhere. Endocrinologist and author Dr. Lucky Sekhon is here to separate fact from fiction. It all starts now on The Social.
Happy to have you all here. Okay, let's dive into today's show. So sharing a bank account with your spouse, that's one thing, but would you ever share a bank account with your friends? This content creator says his wife does do this, and he's not allowed to know anything about it. Take a look.
I know they go for like $1,000 dinners, and they use it to buy birthday presents, no worries. I'm just not allowed to know how much is in there, how often they put into it. I don't know if they own assets. I just know it's for anything the girls want to do, and I can't ask anything about it.
Okay, well, I don't know if that might be changing some people in here. So what do we make of this friends-only bank account? Jess?
I was like you guys, I had to think about it for a moment, take a beat. And you know what? I think I'm into it. Just imagine, let's say you put away $50 every paycheck. So you get 2 paychecks usually a month, that's $100 a month. Let's say there's 6 of you. By the end of the year, you have $7,200. And think about that. That's either some really luxurious meals, or it's like one baller long weekend getaway where you all get a room and a bathroom and you all get to spend time together. I think what it does, or it would do for me, would prioritize the idea of spending time with friends. For better, I love my friends, but for better or worse, they sometimes get left to the side because life happens. But if you know you had a bank account, you're like, we gotta use that money up. Where are we going?
I don't know, that just seems like, I hear everything you're saying, and I like the idea of making it a priority to get together with friends, but who's monitoring this? Who's like going in, who's got the bank card?
That's
who's
stress.
like, oh, Sally withdrew this.
No, you do it all on your phone.
Then why do we need a joint bank account at all? What happens if, I'm sorry to say.
It's the mental, I love your point, but I think it's the mental idea of this is money that we are setting aside to be together.
Put it in a piggy bank and bury it in the backyard, and at least you know where it is. Bury it in the backyard? I just the banking. What if somebody dies? Like, who owns this?
Well, then
guys.
we get appetizers at the dinner.
Then you use that money to do something special for the friend who's
right,
just
you're on board. Okay.
Right? Yeah. I love this idea for 2 reasons. First of all, whenever we hear a wife having a bank account, it's usually in secret, and her husband knows nothing about it so that she can escape quietly at night. So the fact that her husband knows, kudos to you for the transparency. I love that. But I think this, I'm gonna say this as a person who's not married. A lot of times my girlfriends, they find the love of their life, they get married, which we're very happy, but then they disappear, and we don't see them. So I love that this girl is still prioritizing her friendship with their friends and saying, no, not only are we gonna talk about it on the WhatsApp, we're also gonna put money in this account so that we do make sure that we actually go and we do those things together. You'll still have time with your partner, but I think it prioritizes, because a lot of times we make plans and they don't come to fruition. We're talking, we gotta do brunch, we gotta do brunch. Well, when you have my $50 a month, I'm meeting you for brunch.
Yeah.
So I think that's great to galvanize everybody together.
Oh yeah, I'm on team no bank account with friends. And the reason why is money and friends can get really tricky really fast. And so I'm the person who likes to keep separation of church and state. You know, what's the saying? The best and easiest, fastest way to make an enemy is to go into business with your friends.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, the idea of like, it's the rules. Somebody has to manage it. There's a cost to having a bank account.
I'm sorry,
and
can I
then
just
there
point
is,
something
like,
out? If we were gonna do this, who would be the best manager of this group?
obviously me. But
You don't need anything more to do. You got a lot on your plate.
I'm
yeah, I
just
mean, you're
saying.
right. Like you're right, and
Okay.
I also have 6 million jobs. But I like, for example, my priority. Like, obviously, friends are a priority. We do want to see each other more. We do want to get together. But when I talk about money and I think about long-term planning, I hate to say it, I have to prioritize my marriage and my household. I've got mortgage, house, kids' education. You know, money is tight for a lot of people, and so I think there's different ways. What if the things we want to do as friends doesn't involve or have to involve money? So I just think like compound interest is a really strong thing, and I would love to take that money and compound interest it, but to benefit, I hate to say it, my husband, my family, my own retirement. So I think there's a tricky way around here, and for me, friends, absolutely, let's get together. We love you to death, but I don't need another job to manage the bank account. But I love friends.
Okay. Well,
love
we didn't
friends.
sell her, but we know who'd be the manager of the money. Next up, Dolly Parton is 80 years old. Great stuff. People is honoring her life and career with a new special edition. As for Dolly herself, she says there is celebration in the fact that I have done so much in that time and that I'm still doing it. So the question we have for you today is, do you make a point of celebrating milestone birthdays? Okay, half and half. This side yes, this side no. All right, what do you guys do?
I mean, I do not. The last time I had a huge milestone celebration was my 30th, and I did it just down the street at a restaurant that no longer exists. In fact, nothing has moved into that spot. And every time I walk by it, I kind of am like, oh. But I think about it because I tried to do that thing where you combine like childhood friends with university friends and then some new work colleagues, and the whole night I felt so anxious.
Yeah.
It was just this weird collision of worlds. And so since then I was like, you know what? I don't like parties. Like, I think if that's what you love, that's amazing. For me, I like intimate gatherings, and the pressure of doing all one thing one night, it ends up not being fun for me.
What
so
if
no,
we went to
I'm
a
no
sauna?
to that.
What if we went to a sauna for your next milestone?
But even still,
we know you like a sauna.
I did do that. I have done that before, but that would be like a small gathering. I would prefer like a bunch of small gatherings to one big blow up, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, bring on the big milestone birthday. Not a surprise to anybody on this panel. To me, the older I get, the more precious birthdays become. Not only am I watching my parents get older, and every time I watch them, my parents are so healthy and they're thriving, and I think every birthday, aging is a privilege. I say this all the time. And my father has a saying, having a birthday is better than the alternative. That's a great Frankism. And so for me, birthdays, whether it's a milestone, because if you're not that person, I get that the party, like, listen, I'm a party girl. So guess what? I party. It's what I do. But if you're not a party girl and you don't party, that's what, I get it. I don't know anymore the older I get if I'm going to wait for just the milestone. This girl's 48 right now. I know I look younger, but I'm 48 right now. And my girlfriends and I were all within the same 2 or 3 years. And so we were all thinking, okay, what are we doing for our 50th? And we said, you know what? We don't have to wait for 50. So we have a huge trip this summer together, and we're not waiting. And it's to do the anticipatory 50. And for some of us who already turned 50 and some girls who are already 51, we're like, why wait? Life goes by in an instant. Celebrate and live while you're alive.
Yeah. You know what's so funny? That's exactly what I was thinking, because like you, I did the milestone. Mine wasn't at a restaurant. It was on the second floor of a place called the Brass Rail, when there were half-naked men everywhere. And
wait, what?
because
What birthday?
21. 21 years old.
At the strip joint?
Yeah, it was the thing everybody was supposed to. You haven't gone to a strip club, and I was there. And then there's this heavily oiled man wearing cowboy boots and a little Speedo, and I'm in a recliner, and I just start laughing, going, "What am I doing here? Why am I here? This is not my idea of a party." So I get what you're saying, but I was also raised in a household where my parents would say, if someone said, "Oh, how old are you?" and they would kind of reply with like, "Well, 47 next month if God sees fit," which was their way of saying, count every single day and don't count on those days. Don't think you're gonna make it to that milestone. Celebrate every single day. Every time you wake up, it's a celebration. You got another day to get it right. So that's the way I think about it as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Birthday? Milestone
Oh
birthday
God,
party?
no, not anymore. When I turned 50, I had booked off 2 weeks in the fall to take a big birthday trip, just Simon and myself. And I booked this time off in January. I must have had 3 or 4 different iterations of a trip, and I couldn't commit to one. I felt so much pressure to make it perfect. And then 6 weeks out, I realized the pressure was all self-imposed.
Yep.
And so I just did the trip that I really wanted to do and simplified it, and it was the best trip ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You like the brass rail then?
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is do you.
Do you.
Do you.
Do
right?
you.
All right, let's take a quick break, everybody, and then why a condition known as irritable male syndrome may be the reason that the men in your life are more cranky than usual. We'll tell you about it and what we think after this.
Tomorrow on The Social, stylist Erica Wark shows us chic color combinations to shake up our winter weather wardrobe. This week on The Social, calling all future brides and grooms, we've got the engagement ring trends that are shining bright this year.
If you're online right now, we would love for you to hit us up on social media and join this conversation. That is how we connect with you.
So this next story is going to let some of you curmudgeons off the hook. Irritable male syndrome. May sound like a joke, but it's a real thing, according to some medical circles. Experts told the Huffington Post that the term refers to a cluster of symptoms that often appear in aging men. We're talking increased irritability, mood swings, and low energy. Those are just some of them. So what do you make of irritable male syndrome?
I love it. Finally, it has a name, because I have been experiencing this. When I was reading this article, I was looking at the symptoms and I was thinking, oh, the boyfriends' names were popping up. I go, oh, that's that guy, and that's that guy, and that's that guy. What's funny about this list of all of these symptoms are these are all the reasons why men historically have prevented women from having certain jobs, because we menstruate and we're too emotional and we're unstable. And it's so interesting to see all of these things. It's like, yeah, you guys have the same thing, but we just call it you having a bad day. So now we actually have a name for it. And men, hopefully they will inform themselves, because we already know that you guys aren't going to the doctors normally. So now you have more information about what's happening to you too. It's not just us going through perimenopause who are going through changes. You guys have changes too. And now we're not calling it a bad day, Jim. Now we know. You have IMS, darling.
Well,
You got IMS.
well, what was weird is
Jimmy, you got IMS, Jimmy.
When I read the symptoms, I'm like, do I have irritable male syndrome too?
you do.
Like,
There's not a
I
male
felt
in your
the same way.
Yeah.
Because I've had it, but then the subtitle and title of the article really was like a word salad on my brain, because it's like they're calling it an actual condition, but there is no clinical diagnosis. And I was like, well, what? And to wrap your head around that, it means that yes, many men experience these symptoms, and that matters. But no, there isn't a recognized diagnosis with, sort of determined tests and criteria. And I thought, well, that's kind of ironic. That's kind of like equality right there, because if we know the majority of medical testing over the last 50 years has been done on men. So you would think something like this, every single dollar would have been thrown in it to give it that clinical sort of stamp of approval, but it hasn't been. So I
Give it
find
a minute.
Can't we just call it like getting older syndrome and it's
That's
genderless?
what I thought.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I thought. Because to me, this is nothing new. It used to be called andropause, or it still is called andropause, which was supposedly the kind of equivalent of perimenopause, which obviously there are differences. But those symptoms are very overlapping to many of the things that women go through. And some of it's attributed to declining testosterone or hormone levels. But I think the bigger culprit is just grief. It is that you're grieving. As we get older, it's like, oh, my hair doesn't look the same. My body doesn't look the same. My penis isn't working the same. Not mine, but like
Yours is great. Yours is fine.
Yeah, mine's fine. But I think that it's just our bodies changing. Whether you have a male, female, it doesn't matter what kind of body you have. As your body changes, you experience grief, and that grief leads to irritability, mood changes, anxiety, all these different things. So maybe we should just not make it gendered at all and just call it what it is. It is aging grief, and we need to learn to manage it.
I think the only difference for that is if we do put a title on it, which, you know, I don't know where I land on this, but, you know, because you guys know I'm a menopause advocate, and a lot of people who are trying to make equivalencies with menopause, I'm going to tell everybody, don't do that. Menopause and andropause are not the same thing. If you were born with ovaries, 100% of us are going to go through menopause. Not all men go through andropause. It's actually a small portion of men. So we can't say we're all going to go through it. However, we are all going to get older, God willing, if you're celebrating those milestone birthdays, right? And so I think there is something in midlife that is very unique to all people in the sense that midlife is where, a menopause expert said this to me, the way that you've been living your life catches up to you in midlife. Mentally and physically. And there's so many shifts. Listen, the back nine is ahead of us. Most of your life is behind you. That is sad for all of us, but also there's a mental component to that, and that's what we don't talk about enough with men. They're not going to the doctor enough. However, the only thing I'm going to caution with this is not an excuse for me to continue to take care of you, but rather men, finally for you to get into the driver's seat of taking care of yourself, maybe for the first time. So prioritize your physical and mental health. I don't want to take care of you. I'm going through menopause. I don't want to take care of you, okay?
Okay, moving on to this, you've probably noticed celebrities and influencers posting throwback photos to 2016, right? Have you seen this? It's part of a new social media trend that even Meghan Markle actually took part in. The Duchess posted this pic of her and Harry in Botswana that year in 2016. So did you guys participate in the 2016 throwback?
Yeah,
did you?
we did here. Yes,
Did you? What did you think of this?
Avi, I did. Avi, I did. You know what? At first I was like, oh, 2016 wasn't a big year. It was only when I saw the trend that I went back to my camera roll and I went, oh my God. It was one of the biggest years of my entire life. And that was the part for me that started to get fun. Speaking of Harry, that was the year, whatever, I hosted Invictus Games, whatever.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And also got to hang with them. And then I met his dad 2 days later. And I was invited to England. I was able to hang out with now King Charles and Camilla. And I started to think that was a big year. And not because this is like a gentle humble brag, because I've been seeing a lot of influencers do that. This is the age where nostalgia and perspective kick in. This is where you realize that hustle, I was hustling so hard that year. I'm exhausted looking at those photos. And it made me realize that hustle is over for me. I am now not doing things for external accolades. I did the thing. And now I'm doing stuff for me and for my family that brings me true joy. So I think that's what's going back to me. Yeah, what about you guys? Did everybody do it?
I did it.
Yeah? Did you do it?
I did it.
Yes, I saw yours.
Yeah,
It was
I
beautiful.
did it. I did it because a girlfriend actually, I wasn't gonna do it because all these trends, you can't keep up. I wasn't gonna do it, but then my girlfriend tagged me in something and then I was like, oh my gosh, that was 2016? Because I'm one of those people that I have no concept of when something happened in the past. Like if you say, what, the pandemic, I'll go, yeah, that was 2 years ago. And it's like, no, that was 6 years ago. And I'm like, oh, it was 6 years ago. So for me, this was great to look back. And like you, I didn't realize how many things I'd done. Funny enough, I was working on a Canadian national talk show, just not this one, which is so bizarre. I was like, oh my gosh, that's when I started that show. But more importantly, I had written my first book.
That's big.
That's a big
Right?
deal.
And I remember just being so excited. And but if you ask me before doing this trend, when did your book come out? I'd be like, what, 5 years ago? And it's like, no, it's been 10 years already.
huge.
So I think it's important sometimes to look back, also kind of tap yourself in the back and be like, I've done a couple things.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Okay, talk about milestones. My goodness, after the break, Project Runway Canada winner Leeland Mitchell is here, and he's going to tell us what it's like to win the debut season of that show. We'll be back right after.
I'm back. It came down to 3 incredibly talented Canadian designers on the dramatic season finale of Project Runway Canada, when only one walked away with the title. Watch this.
Canada's next great fashion designer is... Leeland.
Please welcome to the show the winner of Project Runway Canada, Leeland Mitchell.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Listen, it's an honor to have you. Big congratulations, Leeland. Oh my gosh, this was so exciting for you to watch you. So what about this experience surprised you the most that viewers would kind of be surprised by as well?
Listen, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my whole life. It was so challenging. It really taught all of us to push ourselves and explore these new parts of our creativity and our design work that we had never kind of gotten to. But I'll say the best part of this was really creating these incredible friendships with the other designers. I will say, Charles and Curtis are here.
That's lovely.
Every day, I am so grateful to have them as this incredible support system and literally my best friends now. And that's really
Because they're probably only the 2 people who know what you went through. That's incredible.
Okay, so I want to talk about your finale collection.
Ooh, okay.
Because my gosh, it was so gorgeous. Everybody's collections were gorgeous, but you decided to showcase your heritages. And I say that because you are half Chinese and half Scottish.
Yes.
And so that really came through. So how did you decide? I could see in some looks where you were leaning one way or the other, but how were you trying to strike a balance for yourself?
So, you know, you probably watched the season, and I'm tacky as hell, you know? Even Jason Wu was like, girl, stop being so tacky. And I'm like, I just can't help it. But no, what I really wanted to do was to really just give a big thank you to my Chinese heritage, you know, my pupua and my gong gong, you know, and my grandma and my grandpa on my Scottish side, because these are these immigrants that came here in the 50s and 60s that built up this huge life for my family, you know, and my Chinese grandparents are still running that dry cleaner to this day, you know, all these years later. So it's incredible to be able to do this for them, to have them witness it, and to kind of, I don't know, tie this nice little bow for them, you know? You guys, look at what we did.
That's really, really beautiful. Well, you had to sketch, snip, and stitch your way through so many different challenges. And was there a particular challenge that pushed you creatively more than anything else you've ever done?
Oh my God, there was one challenge that was the Bata Shoe Museum challenge. And I made the most beautiful outfit that was not a costume ever. It was a complete costume. Yeah. And it really taught me and really kind of pushed me to go, you know, not everything has to be a drag outfit. Sure, the thigh-high boots were drag, but you know, there are so many cool fashion things that you could add to this, and you can really play around with it, you know?
One of the things that I always find like so stressful watching this show was just like the timing, like because instead of having like a luxurious amount of time to do these complicated things, you were like on the clock. So did that like hinder or like help sharpen your skills?
It's so interesting. Most of the challenges were 2-day challenges, so it really gave everybody the freedom to kind of really put what they wanted into this. I do have to say the cashmere challenge, we were only given 12 hours to make an incredible couture garment. And I will say, sure, it was so stressful, but it was also so liberating. And it was so interesting to see all of us 12 hours, let's do it. Let's see what we can all make with one material under this time constraint. And I think, sure, we were all hating it at the time, but I think it was the most fun that we had doing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really,
That's
really
fantastic.
cool.
All right, so listen, I understand that you like to put the fun in fashion, but then the judges also kind of said some of your designs were a little costumey. But how do you define your line?
So I think it's not so black and white.
Sexy.
That one was sexy.
Damn.
Oh, there's
Up
the
there,
sexy
and the
one. I don't think it's that harsh of a line, you know? I think that both can exist in the same world. And I think that us trying to differentiate them, Cardi B meets the nanny.
Right.
I think us trying to separate them kind of pushes these two worlds further apart when it's like we should be celebrating, you know? Moschino and Galliano are these incredible costumey designers, and they've been celebrated for years. And one thing that I've really learned from this is that like joy brings us so much hope for the future, you know? Like we can really see that things will get better, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Absolutely. We just have to remember that joy is still important.
Yes.
You know, that is such a great message. And joy also also comes from playing games. Do you have time for a little rapid fire
Yes.
with us? It is the This or That Fashion Edition, obviously. So we're going to give you 2 options and you're going to pick, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Okay, let's do
So
it.
the first one is up. Leather or lace?
Leather.
Obviously.
The Catwoman just came out.
Oh my God. Print or color?
Oh, print. Tacky.
I love the brutal honesty. All right, next one. Canadian tuxedo or classic tuxedo?
Canadian tuxedo. Come on.
Okay, heels or platforms?
Ooh, I like a heel and I like a platform, but I'm gonna go heel on this one.
Love it.
Okay.
She's classy sometimes.
Just once in a while, you know.
Okay, sequins or feathers?
Oh, come on.
Pick one. Just pick
Okay,
one.
I love both so much. No, what about sequins and feathers, like together?
No, you gotta choose. Okay.
There's the
here's-
tacky. The
yeah.
tacky came out. I'm sorry.
Here's another impossible choice: structure or flow.
Ooh. I think flow.
Okay.
I love it. Love it.
Okay, okay.
Love it.
Well, that was fun, Leeland. We want to say from us to you a big congratulations.
much,
And thank you both for being here as well.
Yeah,
You guys for Charles and Curtis.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, this is where we remind everybody that you can stream Project Runway Canada. All the episodes right now are exclusively on Crave. That is where the party is at. Thank you again.
Thank you so
again.
much. Thanks,
Up next, everybody, Chef Sekhon is here. He's going to show us how to throw a souvenir dinner party. What is that? Stay tuned. All right, we are back, everybody. Our next guest is a storyteller who loves to share his experiences through food. And today, he's taking us on a journey to his homeland with a spread of souvenirs that he brought back from Korea.
So here to teach us how to throw a souvenir dinner party is Chef Sekhon. It's so nice to have you back.
Wonderful being back.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is such an exciting, interesting way
Yeah.
of talking about a trip because instead of bringing back knickknacks, and we all love a knickknack, not gonna lie, okay, from our travels, you say that it's actually best if we can actually share gifts that we bring home, such as ingredients. But what is the best way to approach this?
I think, if you're going to have a dinner party, first of all, you want to be mindful of the type of guest that's going to be there. And I like mine to be a little bit more on the adventurous side.
Yeah.
So food and ingredients that are just kind of on the horizon, on the outer rim of the English lexicon. Remember like kimchi 15 years ago, nobody knew what it was, right? So that kind of thing. And also that if you're going to feature your food prominently on the dinner table, make sure it's front and center. Move the other stuff out of the
Right,
way.
if anyone else brings a dish,
forget it.
put them to the side.
To the
That's
side.
what this is about.
Those are
That's
side dishes.
beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, so stuff that maybe they might not have the opportunity to try, you're bringing it to their table. So you've truly brought us a spread from your travels to Korea, which we're seeing now. We're starting off with a drink. So tell us about this rice wine and where you got it.
Okay, so this is called makgeolli. You're all used to the Korean soju, right?
Yes.
Which is a
Yes.
distilled
Yes.
rice wine.
Yeah.
This is actually fermented.
Fermented,
Yes,
okay.
it's fermented rice wine. Creamy, slightly tart. It's got a little bit of effervescence. The beautiful thing about... Feel free to drink anytime. The beautiful thing about it is that it's very light in alcohol.
Okay.
But it's used to be something that you give to older men, right?
Oh,
but
thank you.
now, but now more you give it to younger people because you're going to find it at every cocktail bar. So that's the traditional one from my ancestral village.
I am honored to be tasting this.
Yeah, you
This
should.
is beautiful.
Do you like it, Jess?
It is so lovely. It's delicate. There are nuanced flavors that I'm not smart enough to tell you what they are, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it was meant for my best friend's Christmas party, but I told them, no, I have to bring it here so Jess can drink it. And then the other one, Jess, is an infused one. So a lot of the younger generation love this. Again, light in alcohol, but it's got peach in it.
This is fun.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful. Okay, next up, we got to talk about this Korean pear. Tell us about why it's a special treat.
So this is called pear. So if you imagine a Granny Smith making love to Grandpa Bossk. This Bossk pear, that's what you get.
I've never seen this before.
So it's an Asian pear,
I think I have.
right? So it's taste it, and you see that it's got it's got that crispiness of a Granny Smith, but it's also got that kind of finish of a Bossk pear. So this I've put into this salad. I like bringing a gift like this because it's kind of unique, but at the same time, everybody knows what a pear and apple tastes like, right? So this has got some walnuts in it, some of the pear. Yeah, and then with a bit of a punchy type of gochujang dressing that I made.
That's so good.
I mean, this whole salad is beautiful. Okay, I can also see on our plate we've got a dry date. So tell us about these and how you like to serve them.
Most of the dates that my friends go on is considered quite dry, but this here is called techu. It's a dried jujube, right? It's got a pit in it, so be careful.
Okay.
And I do very, very little to it. all I do is just boil it.
Okay.
So it gives it a little bit of tenderness, but then you can taste that it's slightly medicinal, slightly sweet, but it's really, really good for you. I just found out that it's something that a lot of Korean women use or eat a lot of to have that porcelain-like skin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
sign
Let's
me
just
up.
take the whole thing there and we'll eat that. Okay, next we're talking about Spam. I'm assuming this is quite different than the Spam that we get here in North America, correct?
Or that you get on your computers, right? So this Spam is it's salted pork shoulder, pork butt,
Right.
and made famous in Korea during the Korean War because they use it in a famous Korean stew called the pudetjjigae, right?
Okay.
Army-based stew, and this one, of course, is different from what you get in North America because it's the pork is a higher quality, the salt, all of that. The terroir is different, so you're going to see that it tastes a little bit.
It does taste different. It's really good.
Yeah, I quite like it. Is that weird to say that I really like it?
You're Filipino. You eat a lot of it.
We eat a lot of Spam in Filipino culture. This is a really interesting souvenir because you bought seaweed squares home. Why is this a good souvenir to bring back?
Okay, because now these days, roasted and salted and seasoned seaweed
things,
is very, very ubiquitous. You can get them anywhere now.
Yeah.
But this one in particular is one that comes from near my ancestral village. You can only get it in Korea. So I've cut them up in squares, rectangles. And the best way to eat this is on its own, or you can put a little bit of the rice that I've made.
So the rice, you put the Spam in the rice.
I did.
And then it's also, we've got the seaweed on the side that we can eat it all together.
That's right.
If I were served this at a souvenir dinner party, I would be very, very pleased. This is so good.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
Now, you also have a type of banchan? Tell me what that is and why it is a special souvenir.
Yeah, so it's not banchan, it's panchan.
Oh, panchan.
Panchan.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm speaking Greek right now, but panchan. Panchan is all of those little side dishes you get at a Korean restaurant.
Yeah.
That's considered panchan. It includes kimchi as well, right? So you're getting all kinds of stuff that you can get in cans. In Canada, like Korea, it's a hiking camping culture, and so you can get these like in these cans instant. And you open it up, something like the kimchi here, believe it or not, you just add a little bit of water and it goes, and you have instant kimchi. It's pretty good, actually.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Delicious.
What a great idea to bring back.
So the one that I put on there is braised anchovies.
Oh!
That's what I was going to say. I taste anchovies.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to finish off with a dessert drink, and you have brought us a rice punch.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about this.
So no alcohol.
Okay.
Sorry, Jess. And but it's got rice. It's slightly
Oh,
sweet.
yes.
Right? And this is something my grandmother was famous for making in our village, right? And it's just something to finish off your meal with, right? Nice and sweet, slightly
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But not too sweet. It's very comforting.
Yes.
Even though I have no point of reference for it to be comforting for. Maybe it's because you're such a comfort. It's true.
This particular brand that you guys are tasting is one of my favorites. Again, you can only get it in Korea, and it's again close to my ancestral village, and it's something that really warms my heart because it reminds me of my grandmother going through the effort of making this.
Oh my gosh, that's
My
so beautiful.
goodness.
Yeah.
You know what? This is way more fun than having to look through a bunch of photos. What do you say?
No kidding. Better than a keychain.
Better than a keychain, yes. Saying this was beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing
welcome.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Absolutely
Thank you.
stunning, gorgeous. Okay, we're going to enjoy this on the break, but up next, 1 in 6 people struggle with infertility. And with so much misinformation out there, author and endocrinologist Dr. Lucky Sekhon joins us to clear up fact from fiction after this.
Oh my God.
Welcome back. 1 in 6 people struggle with infertility, but with all the information and misinformation out there, it can be hard to separate facts from fiction.
Well, our next guest is hoping to help. Her new book is called The Lucky Egg, and it breaks down the complexities of conception with expert medical information and what science actually says about fertility. So please welcome to The Social top reproductive endocrinologist, Dr. Lucky Sekhon. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We want to say congratulations on this book. It's, first of all, really beautiful to look at. We love the cover art. And so it covers absolutely everything to do with infertility, fertility, how to get pregnant. But this is an industry that has really exploded, and I think for different reasons. But when egg freezing started, it was considered a last resort. Today, egg freezing is kind of a little more commonplace. So let's start there. Why do you think that has changed?
Well, I love that society has shifted where we're talking about topics like fertility. 10 years ago, this was something that was shrouded in secrecy and a lot of self-blame and shame, and now women are talking about it more openly and acknowledging that we have a biological clock. And I think this is a way to really pay it forward and make sure everyone has this vital information about how their bodies work. We are born with all the eggs we're ever going to have, and we don't have repair mechanisms or the ability to make new ones. And that's what we're referring to when we talk about the biological clock. And the reason why people are freezing their eggs is because a lot has shifted. It's taking longer for many of us to be in a place where we're ready to have children, whether that's on a personal or professional level. So egg freezing is one of those things where you can try and stop the clock, so to speak. It's not perfect because human reproduction isn't perfect, and there's a lot of nuance that people should be discussing with their doctors about when to do this. The earlier you do it, the more successful it tends to be. And the technology has really improved where we have better thaw survival rates of eggs and better pregnancy rates, but it's not foolproof, and it's really important to have that discussion with your doctor.
I mean, I think a lot of people spent their younger years trying not to get pregnant, and then spent their later, like their 30s and 40s, trying to get pregnant. So you actually say, though, that it's actually not that easy to get pregnant.
Yes. Isn't it a crazy 180-degree shift that we're all magically expected to do in our adult years? We're supposed to go from the lessons we learned in health class, where you felt like if you looked at a boy from across the room, you might get pregnant, right? And then, you know, doctors like myself telling you the reality is human reproduction is extremely inefficient. First of all, you only ovulate 1 egg per cycle. That egg lasts for 12 to 24 hours. So if it's not fertilized in that time frame, too bad, you wait for the next cycle. And even if you time everything perfectly, it doesn't guarantee that the egg will fertilize and turn into an embryo and a baby. It's almost like playing a slot machine, and all you can control is pulling the lever and trying at the right time, but whether everything will line up is largely out of your control. So it takes time and persistence, and usually we say at the end of 1 year of trying, most couples, 85%, will be pregnant. But if it takes longer than that, it's time to see an expert. And if you're 35, don't wait longer than 6 months.
Yeah, I wish I had this information because we struggled for years. I want to go back to this freezing thing because more people are talking about it. Let's break through and understand it better. So if let's say you decide to freeze your eggs and you're in your 20s,
right?
But maybe you want to use your eggs when you're 35 to 40. What do we know about eggs and their quality while frozen? Do they keep that quality or do they lose quality?
Well, I know you had a chef on just now.
Yes.
And I would say you can't think of this as the chicken breast in the back of the freezer for the last 15 years. Your eggs are not getting freezer burn the way food in the freezer does, right?
They don't?
No. All aging and metabolism is halted. I think we can clap for that. Right?
Absolutely.
And here's another fact that I think we should clap for. Your uterus doesn't really age. So if you have eggs or embryos frozen and you come back 5 years later, 10 years later, and for whatever reason you need to rely on them to build your family, your chance of getting pregnant is the exact same.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. This is why women can get pregnant when they're perimenopausal or menopausal. some of my patients go into menopause early, right? And if they have eggs frozen or they use donor egg, I can still get them pregnant because I can give them hormones to support that early pregnancy, and eventually the placenta in the first trimester will take over production of those hormones.
We're amazing.
Wow.
We're
Bodies
amazing.
are amazing.
Okay, so we've heard this thing when we were trying to get pregnant, you're encouraged to like lead a healthy lifestyle, do yoga, for example. You know, like then your eggs. There's this idea that your eggs will be in good health as well. But how big of a factor does actually that play in fertility?
Yes. I see women and couples who put so much pressure on themselves, and they feel guilt about in their college years, drinking heavily or going through periods of time where they weren't eating as well as they should have been. And I'm here to tell you that if you're going through infertility or you've suffered pregnancy losses, it is not your fault. Yes, there is a role for healthy lifestyle. Everyone should be working on themselves and optimizing their general health. And in turn, that may help your fertility. But when we think about all the different variables that go into someone being able to get pregnant, there's many things beyond lifestyle that are fully out of our control, like biology, aging, timing, right? And so, yes, we should work on putting our best foot forward, but know that even if you feel younger than your chronological age, that doesn't necessarily mean that there are lifestyle things that you can be doing to pause or reverse the effects of the biological clock. We need to be really realistic so that we can make informed decisions.
And part of that informed decision, I think, is education. And when we talk about infertility, we often think the woman is broken. At least that's how I felt when I was going through fertility. I want to talk about the male factor for just a second here, because we're the ones going through the injections and the ultrasounds and the this and the that. Constantly, we're all down the street trying to get into the fertility clinic. But I want to talk about what is the male factor here in terms of the quality of his sperm in this discussion?
Well, I find it shockingly shocking to people that it's 50%, right? But family building is a team sport. It takes two. And 50% of couples with infertility have a male factor, meaning something's going on with the sperm production or the ability for the sperm to swim to the egg, right? And it's really important to know that both members of a couple should be working on their fertility, working on their lifestyle, doing the best that they can, and getting tested at the same time, because it's really a 50-50 equation.
We don't have a lot of time. Cost is a big thing here. What's the range that we're dealing with here if people are going to go through fertility treatments in Canada?
So there's a variety of different types of treatments. The most low-tech, laid-back treatment option is called intrauterine insemination. This involves washing and concentrating sperm and injecting it at the top of the uterus. And it's done in the clinic. It doesn't involve a lot of technology, and so it's cheaper, but it still will run anywhere from $500 to about $2,000 per cycle, depending on if it requires medication, right? IVF is much more high-tech, and it involves not just your doctor in the clinic, but a team of embryologists and specialized equipment in a lab, and it can cost around $10,000 to $20,000. Right. And there are a lot of financial barriers. We know in Canada there can be some public funding through the government, but that is generally limited, and you have to meet a certain criteria, and you do have to wait, and we've already talked about the biological clock, so it can be difficult. It's something we need to keep raising awareness on.
That's why you wrote this book. Thank you so much, Dr. Lucky, for being here. Called The Lucky Egg. Congratulations again on the book, and we are be right back.
All right, tomorrow on The Social, Erica Work is back. She's going to show us how to brighten up our winter wardrobes with chic color combinations. We need that right now. We need it. Plus, Cab's here. If you know the reference, you know the cast members from the New Jersey Shore spinoff, Canada Shore, are going to be here tomorrow. I'm going to ask them all about their GTL habits tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.